I can't even remember the last time I went to Olive Garden, mainly because I make it at home. It's cheaper and tastes way better. I'm recreating 3 Olive Garden recipes, and the first one is not even on the menu anymore. And that's the San Remo Seafood Dip. Starting off with a couple tablespoons, I would say this is about 3 tablespoons of a neutral cooking oil. You can add olive oil. Here I'm adding 4 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, and I'm going to cook that out. We're going to create a roux. Now I'm going to add a cup of cold milk. Well, this isn't super cold, but it's not hot. Okay, so this is starting to thicken, and you see I worked out all the clumps. Now I have a block of cream cheese. This is sort of softened. You can soften it more if you want. Now I'm going to work that in. I'm also going to add some garlic, salt, pepper, and onion powder. And you'll want to melt this down and get it smooth and creamy. Shaved Italian cheese blend. It's Parmesan, Romano cheese, and Asiago cheese. It should be thick and creamy, just like this. Very thick. I'm going to preheat the oven. You'll want to bake it at 375. I'm going to go for 400 because my oven is not calibrated right. There we go. You'll want to taste your cream sauce for salt and pepper. Adjust to your taste. I'm adding a little more salt, and that's it. So I'm using 8 ounces of crab meat. This is what my local grocery store had. 8 ounces of claw crab meat, but use what you've got. 8 ounces, and this is 12 ounces of small shrimp. If you have baby shrimp, that's fine. And this is already cooked, by the way. I'm gonna add all the crab meat in. By the way, if all you have is crab meat, just go with that. And now the shrimp. By the way, comment down below if you remember the San Remo Seafood Dip at Olive Garden. Okay, this is I guess a small baking dish. Maybe an 8x8 square baking dish works for this. You'll want to take your favorite marinara sauce and pour it at the bottom. I like to go over with some crushed red pepper flakes. If you have some horseradish, add it into the mix. I don't have any today. I like to go over with a little more garlic powder, but this is kind of like a blend that I like to use. It's up to you what you use. Give that a mix. Add this right on top. Cheese. This is going in a preheated oven around 375 degrees Fahrenheit, uncovered. Bake until everything is golden brown on top and bubbly. I like to sprinkle over some paprika. Into the oven. I have this French bread loaf that's kind of old, so I'm going to wet it and just put it right onto the oven rack. Okay. I need to get my toasty bread out. It is done. Yeah, maybe a little too done. So yeah, toasty bread, everyone. I'm going to garnish with some fresh parsley, and you can serve with fresh lemon. So when I would order this long ago, when I used to go to Olive Garden, they would serve this with sliced toasted bread pieces, and it was so good. I love to add squeezed lemon on top, and it was my favorite. It's actually what I would order. I wouldn't order anything else other than the salad and maybe a soup, but it was my favorite. But now I make it at home because it's discontinued, but honestly, it just tastes better. Even though this was actually labeled as an appetizer, I make a lot of it and I serve it as a meal with salad on the side. Okay, next up, I'm going to show you one of my favorite soups. Today, I felt like a one-pot soup, so I'm going to show you how I make my homemade version of Pasta Fagioli. This is not authentic or traditional, but it's good. In a 6-quart pot, I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil, and I'm going to saute half of a medium onion, 1 celery stick, and 1 medium carrot that I chopped. By the way, I'm doing this kind of backwards. I'm going to add a pinch of salt, but I'll show you what I mean. I meant to actually cook 5 slices of bacon that I chopped. So as I'm sauteing this, I realized, oh, that's right, I was supposed to cook bacon first. So if you are making this recipe, cook the bacon first. And in the rendered fat, you can saute the celery, onion, and carrot. Okay, so now I'm adding the bacon and I'm going to cook and render some of the fat. If you want to skip the bacon, then just add the olive oil and saute the aromatics with a pinch of salt. That also works. Going in with 1 pound of lean ground beef. This is a 90 to 10 meat to fat ratio ground beef. If you are working with anything higher in fat, you might want to drain some of the fat. 2 cloves of garlic that I chopped. Here I have a combination. It's 1 tablespoon of dried Italian herb blend, a 1/4 teaspoon of dried thyme, and a 1/4 teaspoon of crushed red pepper flakes. And I'm going to add like a 1/2 teaspoon or so of salt. You can always add salt later to taste, so just maybe start with a 1/2 teaspoon. Now I'm going to break that apart and continue cooking and browning the meat. Here I'm going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of cracked black pepper. Give that a mix, and as you can see, everything has cooked through. It's nicely browned. There is flavor and fond at the bottom of the pan, so that is great. Now I'm going to add a 15-ounce can of crushed tomatoes. You could also use like maybe 4 to 5 fresh Roma tomatoes diced. That also works. Okay, so I'm just going to give that a mix, combine everything, and kind of cook the crushed tomatoes quickly. 4 cups of chicken broth. You could use veggie or chicken stock if you like. And I'm also going to add 1 or 2 extra cups of liquid. I have water, so that's what I'm going to add. In all, somewhere between 5 to 6 cups of broth or water works for this. I'm going to add 2 15-ounce cans of drained beans. I'm working with white kidney bean and a small red bean going in. Here I'm going to add 1 dried bay leaf, and I'm just going to put that in, give that a mix. And what I'm going to do now is cover with a lid and let it simmer for about 10 to 12 minutes. For this recipe, I am using 6 ounces of ditalini pasta, and it's just this like short tubular pasta. Okay, so this has been simmering for about 10 minutes. So what I'm going to do is just give that a mix, and it smells so good. By the way, if you can't find ditalini pasta, you could use like a small elbow macaroni. Okay, you'll want to season and salt to taste. Now I'm going to add the pasta. And you'll want to add the pasta with everything boiling or rapid simmer. So give that a mix, and I'm going to let it cook for another 10 minutes. So this is cooked for 10 minutes, and once the pasta is cooked, it's ready. Look at this. It is so easy to make and so good. And if you want it extra brothy, you could add more broth into the mix, or you can add less if you want it thicker. Okay, adding fresh parsley on top. This is dinner, and I'm going to show you how I serve the bowl. So I add a couple ladlefuls of everything into the bowl. So I like to add a little bit of olive oil. Here I'm adding cracked black pepper, some grated Parmesan cheese going on top. I'm also going to add some fresh parsley. I love to add crushed red pepper flakes, and this is dinner. It's so good. Serve it with the side salad or crusty bread, and you've got a delicious, hearty, easy dinner. Let me show you how I make that iconic Olive Garden salad right at home. Okay, Olive Garden dressing. This is how I make it at home. You'll want a jar with a lid to be sure to shake it later. 1/4 cup of white distilled vinegar. 2 tablespoons water. I like to use just this Italian dressing recipe mix. It's the seasoning. 1/2 teaspoon of sugar. I'm going to mix that. half a cup of olive oil, and a tablespoon or two of mayonnaise. I'm going to give it a taste. That's it. If you need to adjust salt, pepper, if you want to add some garlic powder into the mix or crushed red pepper flakes, do so and taste it and adjust to your preference. Okay, here I have red onion, black olives, pepperoncini, and tomato. So putting the salad together is really easy, and I actually make the salad all the time when I do baked chicken, steak, even if I bake salmon or fish. It's just a fresh salad that my family likes. Parmesan cheese. So I like to recreate restaurant favorites at home. Comment down below what you want to see me recreate next. And there's your Olive Garden salad. So good, so fresh. And it's all at home. So these are 3 things that I like from Olive Garden that I've always made at home. It's delicious, it's not hard to make, and it tastes so much better. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.